What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Mybookie YouTube channel. I'm Connor Burns, and today we are back on Between the Lines. We have a beautiful college football slate to talk about. So many top 25 matchups. It is absolutely blowing my mind. And also NFL Sunday, some marquee matchups on there as well. We have bets to be made, picks to be placed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. But right before we do, just a quick disclaimer that some of the lines that I may talk about in this video, they might change from now until Sunday, and if I end up, or Saturday, and if I end up changing any of my picks, I'll post on all Mybookie other social medias, our X, our Instagram, our TikTok. They're all in the description. I'll post on there. But without any further ado, let's look at our college football record so far this season. Last week, we went 3-3. We're sitting at 42-39. We are still 3 games up. At one point, we were 5 games up, but then we had a little slip for 2 weeks. But now we're still in the green. We're still in the green. We need to make that a lot more green, and that all starts with the number 9 ranked Fighting Irish going in to the 22nd ranked Pitt Panthers in Pittsburgh. College game day in attendance. Pitt, they're plus 12.5 in this game. The over-under is sitting at 54.5. Look, if there is one team that I think is absolutely rolling right now in college football, it is one in this game, and it is the number 9 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Holy cow, last week I decided, you know what, I'm going to bet against them, and I'm going to take Navy plus 26.5. Yeah, that really didn't work out, and that was not a great bet on my ass. But I do think that Notre Dame is going to go into Pitt in this game, and they're going to do what they did in Navy last week, and they are going to beat the doors off this Pitt team. Give me the Irish minus 12.5. Then next up, we have an interesting one. I wanted to throw it on here because I will be in attendance at this game as well. Very excited. But we have the 18th ranked Michigan Wolverines going to not Northwestern, but beautiful, historic Wrigley Field to play against the Northwestern Wildcats. Super pumped to be there. It's going to be super cool going to Wrigley to see a football game. But the Cats, they are plus 12.5 in this game. The over-under is sitting at 41.5. This Northwestern team, let's talk about it. They are gritty as hell. They are gritty as hell. They play hard-nosed football. And I also love looking at that over-under, seeing 41.5 points and seeing a spread this big, and something's going on. I don't know if you can hear that in the mic, but I absolutely love the Northwestern Wildcats plus 12.5 in this game. I think this Michigan team is good, and you know they have to go on a run to end out this year, and they have to beat Ohio State to make the college football playoff. And maybe if they keep that a close game, maybe they could slip in. They need some crazy shit to happen. But I like the Northwestern Wildcats to keep this a gritty football game and keep it simple. And next up, we go over to 2:30, where holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves an absolute matchup right here. The 11th ranked Oklahoma Sooners going into Alabama against the 4th ranked Crimson Tide. Alabama, they're minus 5.5 in this game. The over-under is sitting at 45.5. I talked about earlier how the hottest team in college football, in my opinion, was the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You know who's right next to them? The 4th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. At home in Tuscaloosa in the 2:30 SEC slot. How in the world could you bet against the Crimson Tide? I love Alabama minus 5.5. I think that Oklahoma's a good ball club. They're fun to watch. They are. That offense, when they get firing, holy cow, they are fun to watch. But I think that this Alabama team is just going to go in there and get the business. Give me the Tide minus 5.5. And now next up, going over to another 2:30 matchup, we're going to the Big Ten, where we had a team who was a winner for us last week, the 21st ranked Iowa Hawkeyes, going into the 17th ranked USC Trojans. They're traveling across the country from the Midwest to California. USC, they're minus 6.5 in this game. The over-under is sitting at 48.5. Look, Iowa lost last week to Oregon, but they looked fantastic in that game against Oregon. They fought their ass off, and I wish that they won that game. I wish they won outright. It would have been awesome to see, and it would have shook up everything. And once again, I love the Iowa Hawkeyes plus 6.5 in this game. They're going to get to business. I don't trust this USC team too much. Hawkeyes. Then we make our way over to the Saturday night slate where we have a 6:30 game right here with the 10th ranked Texas Longhorns going into the 5th ranked Georgia Bulldogs house in this game right here. I absolutely love Georgia. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really do love Georgia. This Texas team, they've started to turn it around a little bit. I still don't fully trust Arch, and I still don't fully trust him. Vandy almost came back on him the other week, but Georgia at home between the hedges, a night game there, and they're -6.5. I think that they're going to win this game by 14 points. I absolutely love the Bulldogs -6.5. This is my favorite bet of the entire weekend, if I'm being honest. And then lastly, for college football, we make our way over to a 9:15 game where we have a really interesting one here. TCU Horned Frogs, one of my favorite mascots, by the way, in all of college football. Going into 12th ranked BYU, a team who we bet on last week was one of our losers when they went into Texas Tech. And my God, they did not have a good showing whatsoever. The Storm Mormons, I was very, very disappointed in this team. But this week, I look at this line and I see that they're only -3.5 at home. And it just screams to me that's a trap. That's what it screams to me. But at the same time, how do you see that and you don't take BYU? You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, they had a bad showing last week, but they've been rolling this entire season. That was their first loss of the year. Give me the Cougars to bounce right back. They're fighting for a playoff spot. They just got embarrassed, and now they're back at home. They need a big win here. And TCU, I mean, they got a good ball club. They're sitting at 6-3 right now. Their season, they're not making the playoff, but they're a good team. Give me the Cougs -3.5. And that right there is going to do it for my college football picks. We have Notre Dame -12.5. We have Northwestern +12.5. We have Alabama -5.5. We have Iowa +6.5. We have Georgia -6.5. And we have BYU -3.5 to take us home in that late 9:15 game. Now let's make our way over to the National Football League, where our record right now after week 10 is sitting at 35-31. We were down so bad on the NFL season at the beginning of the year, and now we have a better record in the NFL than we do in college football. That actually kind of blows my mind, honestly. But also for this week of NFL bets, we have to pay our respects because it is the last early game of the NFL season. No more international games. This is the last one. Every year I kind of hate on international games a little bit because it's such an early start. It sucks when your team plays in them. But when it's not your team, I love waking up to football. It's great. Then you are locked in on the couch from 8:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. It's really a beautiful thing. And in this one right here, we have kind of a shitty matchup, which they usually do tend to be. The Washington Commanders going into Miami to play against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are -2.5. The over-under is sitting at 47.5. Look, in this game, I just don't like it. I think it looks like a shit show. Give me the under at 47.5 to end off the international season. Just bad football in Madrid. Then we make our way over to the noon slate where we have a matchup that wasn't too interesting, but now it is just a little bit interesting. The Green Bay Packers going into New York against the Giants. The Giants are +7, and the over-under is sitting at 42.5. This isn't just the New York Giants. This is the Jameis Winston starting quarterback New York Giants. Holy shit, man. I am so excited to watch famous Jameis play football. You have no idea. And on the other side of the spectrum here, you have a Packer team that has lost to the Carolina Panthers at home as 14-point favorites, and then had the defending Super Bowl champs in their house, the Philadelphia Eagles. And my God, the Packers offense just looked horrific. This Giants team, they have an incredible pass rush. Jameis is going to give them some energy. They just fired Dable, and every team, they get a little boost the week after they fire their head coach, and they're going to go out there and say, okay, we're going to prove that it was our head coach. It wasn't us. It wasn't us on this team. Give me the New York Giants +7. I don't know if they win outright. I really don't think they do, but I think that they keep it a ball game, and I think maybe the Packers win by 3. Then next up, going over to another nooner on Sunday, we have the Unk Bowl. Once again, part two, the Cincinnati Bengals going into Pittsburgh against the Steelers. The Steelers are -5.5. The over-under is sitting at 49.5. Look, the first time we had the Unk Bowl, it was Thursday Night Football, and it was one of the best NFL games of the season. Seeing Flacco and Rodgers out there both just having an absolute day, it was beautiful to watch. And it's also so weird seeing a Bengals-Steelers game where the over-under is sitting at 49.5. That's a lot of points for these two teams playing each other, at least historically. But I love a bounce back out of the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. They looked abysmal on Sunday Night Football versus the Chargers. This is a perfect get-right game right here. A Bengals team who's been kind of beat up a little bit. I don't know if they still have as much pep in their step as they do when Flacco first went in there. And with the AFC North being as wide open as it is, the Steelers need this one. Give me Pittsburgh -5.5. Then going over to the 3 o'clock games, we have the San Francisco 49ers going into Arizona against the Cardinals. The Cardinals, they're +3. The over-under is sitting at 48.5. This is a weird game. This whole division is just weird, and it kind of blows my mind. I mean, the Seahawks and the Rams, they are both incredible. And then the 49ers, you don't know what you're getting each week. And the Cardinals, they're just kind of there. I mean, Jacoby Brissett, he's doing his thing, I guess. I think I got to take the 49ers here on a whim. I mean, here's the thing, right? As I just said, you don't know which 49ers team you're going to get each week. And they've been so banged up this entire year. It's really just a question. But against this Cardinals team in Arizona, which it will probably be a 49ers home game around there, I like the Niners -3. Go in there, get to work, and maybe we even end up with a push and they win by a field goal, which honestly, I'd be happy with. Give me the Niners. Now going over to probably the matchup that I'm most excited for this entire game. And yes, I do know that Sunday Night Football is crazy, and we'll talk about that right after, but I am super excited for this game. This is going to be an awesome one right here. The Kansas City Chiefs going into Denver against the Broncos. And the reason why I'm excited for this one is I see one of these teams week after week after week, somehow, some way, just slipping by, finding a way to get these wins, finding somehow, some way, but they don't look good. And on the other hand, there's another team here that has looked incredible, and they are finally absolutely rolling, and they might go back to the Super Bowl once again. I am rolling with the Chiefs -3.5. I think Mahomes is going to go in there and have himself a day. But not only that, I think that Chiefs defense is going to have a great time with Bo Nix throwing the football at him. Give me Kansas City -3.5. And now for our last game for our NFL picks and for our picks in general this week on Between the Lines. My God, this is a beautiful Sunday Night Football matchup. This is how it should be every single week for Sunday Night Football. We have the Detroit Lions going into Philly against the Eagles. The Eagles are -2.5 at home. The over-under is sitting at 46.5. You know, there are things to say about Philly. When they went to Green Bay on Monday night, you know, they didn't play their best football either. Jalen Hurts in that offense, they looked a bit lost at times, but then Jalen made the big throws when he had to. The over-under sitting at 46.5 is really interesting. I kind of do like the over for a bit of a bounce back from that Philly offense, and also just we know what Detroit does. They can score the football like nobody's business, especially when they're rolling, like they did against the Commanders on Sunday. Holy cow, they looked unbelievable out there. But in this game, I feel like a lot of people are going to keep last week in mind. They're going to see, Philly didn't look so good. Oh, but the Lions, they did their thing. They manhandled the Washington Commanders. I like the Philadelphia Eagles -2.5 at home. They're going to get to work. They're going to get busy. Jalen Hurts is going to have himself an absolute ball game. Give me Philly -2.5. But that right there is going to do it for my NFL picks this week. We have the under in the Madrid game at 47.5 points. The Commanders going into Madrid against the Dolphins. We have the Giants +7. We have the Steelers -5.5. We have the 49ers -3. We have the Kansas City Chiefs -3.5. And then we wrap it all up with the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football -2.5. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it every single week that you guys tune into the show. It absolutely makes my day. Hopefully our picks do well. I'm hoping for 4-2 in both college football and the NFL. I'm hoping for 4-2. Let us get one more game up on both sides, and it will be absolutely beautiful. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We'll be back next Friday, and we'll have a YouTube video on Tuesday as well. It'll be great. Make sure to watch. Thank you all so much. Deuces.